No, they don't. They don't have a wire input. Oh my god. All right, it is what it is. We'll deal with it somehow. I have no idea how we're going to deal with it. I have no idea. Fuck me. Either way, welcome! We're back! Yes, we have traveled the world. I have no idea how far I have traveled in the last 7 days, but I have a new appreciation for just how hillbilly Australia and New Zealand is. You guys are so far away from the rest of the world. It is criminally insane how much you are in the buttfuck of nowhere. Like, when we decided as the Great British Empire to ship our criminals off into a different world, we really didn't piss about. Like, we really were like, no, you guys need to go, like, keep going. No, further. But keep going. Keep going. Just keep going. It needs to be further than that. It needs to keep going. It's absolutely stupid. Distance from UK to New Zealand. Okay, so I've done somewhere in the region. It's like 12,000 miles to New Zealand. And I did that twice. And then I did Australia as well. Yeah, so probably like 28,000 miles or something I did in 7 days. Juicy. Juicy. One metric system or what? Like 19,000 kilometers, so somewhere in the region of about 42,000 kilometers or something that I've covered in the last 7 days. The idea of regulation sleep is a complete foreign entity to me. Like, I have not slept more than 4 hours in 7 days. It has been in little spits and spats of when I was available to even be in my room to put my head on a pillow. There was no chance whatsoever of some sort of regulatory rest. It was not happening. FanFest partly responsible for that. Sleep is for the weak, but also passing out, which is what I did on occasion, was not advised under any circumstances whatsoever. Totally not advised to do that. Oh, man. The most difficult countries to move to. Yeah, straight into them. We rest on the third day. Yeah. It was bad. How was the flight? Not bad. The flight was not bad. I have to say, yeah, Emirates, who I flew with, treated me good and proper. Kind of. So I managed to get premium economy for the longer session of the flight. So I did 5 flights in 7 days. The first one was UK to Dubai. That was 8 hours. So I did that twice. And then Dubai to New Zealand and Sydney to Dubai, because I went to Australia in the middle of the trip, which was 15 hours. So on the 15-hour trips, I had premium economy, which was kind of baller, actually. Everything on the Google when we checked it is completely true. Entirely true and accurate. I got a chair that could, like, not lie flat, but go far pretty back. I got a leg rest. I got all that kind of stuff. The food was really good. Like, I was treated proper. It was nice. That for a 15-hour flight, it was pretty cozy, honestly. They gave me a blanket. They gave me a little...
Premium economy is legit.
What do I call it? It was like a pencil case. But it had, like, thrombosis socks in it. It had a little eye mask, you know, for sleeping. It had a toothbrush in it. It had toothpaste. So you could go in the bathroom and, like, get freshened up before you landed and shit like that. That was all right. That was pretty good. I got scammed on the first one, though. I thought I was in, like, historically awesome territory for the first trip, which was in economy, which was not wise on the way back. I will gladly say... After 30, because we didn't get to rest before I came back. So in total, I think I was traveling, or up and about without sleep for about 35 hours. That was pretty exhausting. That was, the coming back was absolutely the worst part of this trip. But when I first got on the way out, check this out. This is what I got. It was delicious. I got to sit at the very, very front of the plane, so I had literally infinite legroom all the way there. I had to sit with the cabin staff and stuff. However, this turned into a nightmare because it turns out that, yes, I have infinite legroom to completely chill out. However, there is no storage of your stuff. And so they took my bag and they put it like halfway down the plane because all the things were filled up. And so I had no iPad, I had no headphones, I had nothing for the first 8 hours of the flight. which kind of fucking sucked, honestly. I would prefer a seat further back where I could have had all my shit. But yeah, you're not allowed to have your shit up here. And instead, you get like a crappy little like mini iPad thing that comes out the arm of the airplane that's like plays the movies and shit. Yeah, it was like Kiss Curse in the most real way. Yes, I was very comfortable, but I was also not really allowed to have any of my stuff, which I had planned. I had downloaded an entire season of Star Trek. I had some YouTube playlists. I had all the stuff I needed to be fully entertained for like 24 hours, which was my flight time. And I didn't get to use any of it on the first 8 hours. That was a fucking bummer. I did. Okay, so yeah. This was the premium economy, though. Where you got your little footrest and shit. This was not bad. This was all right. This was pretty good. You got the full footrest. You got a nice big screen to watch shit. They had like 6,000 movies or something to browse through. You got your little blanket and all that kind of stuff. It was pretty good. It wasn't too bad. When I did get to New Zealand, though, when I got there, not only did my room have a beautiful view, this was
somehow different.
Whoa. That's loud. Leave me alone. So this was the view from my window. I was on the 16th floor of Auckland. But when I got there, I don't know what it is, but I seem to have a habit of attracting just the most awesome taxi drivers of all time. And I had Robert the gangster, Robert the legend, who met me in Auckland. Not only did he put my name, Preach, in a board that had flashing lights that went around it, that was fucking cool. Right, everybody else was on like a chalkboard or like on a fucking like a mini whiteboard with felt tip on it. I had a fucking sign that had little lights going around it. It was fucking awesome. When I got off the plane in Auckland, I arrived at 1 p.m. I think it was in Auckland, right? And I had to be at a VIP dinner. I think that one was at like 6 o'clock. So I had 5 hours from landing to get fresh again and then be out of the door. But Robert had other plans. Robert very much loves New Zealand. He has worked on oil rigs. He's ex-military. He's got multiple kids. And I said, I've never been to Auckland and New Zealand before. And so Robert began his history lesson. He basically went, is that right? And then leaned back, pulled out his whiteboard, and proceeded to give me the full history lesson of New Zealand from start to finish. And then, as I started asking questions, as I tend to do, as he was explaining all the volcanic rock, this is basalt over here. This is where we get the red porous rock that we use for our filtration system. This was added in later. This is where this tunnel was mined out, and we took 8 million kilos of ore over to this place. I then said, and then he's like, that's a volcano, that's a volcano. He says, do you have time? And I went, kind of. And he went, I won't take you to the hotel then. Let's go on a tour. And Robert decided to take me on a full tour of all the volcanoes and things before I got from the airport to the hotel. But it was really fun. It was really fun. He was like, okay, let's go off script. Because I said, I explained to him, I do not have time to do any tourist things while I'm here. I'm going back to Sydney in like 2 days. And so he's like, okay, let's go on a tour. So he took me on a tour. How much extra did it cost? I don't know. Grinding Gear Games paid for it. They provided the car. So sorry, Chris Wilson. If you get a mega... yeah, Path of Exile paid for it. So I have no idea if he added a bunch of money to it. I don't know. So scammed? Not really. I got the best tour of New Zealand I could have had while I was there. Like, it was pretty fucking dope, honestly. Yeah, microtransactions paid for it, which I've bought a lot of as well, so it worked out. That funding of the guild project in PoE worked out kind of well for us. That was pretty fucking solid. So I got to do this whole tour, and then I did eventually get to the hotel. They did put us in a 5-star hotel. Can I remember the fucking name? People from New Zealand, what's the name of that giant tower in Auckland that I actually didn't notice we were next to? Is it called Sky Tower or something? Is it called Sky Tower? Yeah. Sky City, that was it. Yeah. Sky City. So they put us in a 5-star hotel, which had 100 up, 100 down internet, which meant we could stream. Like, it was baller. The hotel was super, super nice. No complaints. This is where I got to stay. It was legit. This was actually my bedroom. Like, it was so fucking good. With a big ass view over it. And it had a gym, it had a swimming pool, it had everything I needed. Like, it was so good. Yeah, no complaints at all. Grinding Gear took very fucking good care of us. Yo, what's up, dudes? Welcome. Oh, it's Tai. Man, Tai, The absolute legend, dude. The absolute legend. So good. And so fortunate about the race, but goddamn, that race was something else. So good. Welcome, dudes. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I was just going over the trip that I went through. I got my, I hope Tai got one of these stress balls. I hope he did. I had a great conversation with Tai in the taxi to one of the VIP dinners. Absolutely great that I got to meet him. Definitely somebody I want to meet again. Were you accommodated on Federal Street? I don't know what street I was on. I cannot express to you enough how much of a blur I was in on day one. There is a tower outside this hotel, right? This is the hotel that GGG put us up in. Let me show you the tower. Let me show you the actual tower. Look at this thing. Look at the girth. Look at the length on this thing. This is the tower, right? This is outside the front door of the hotel. I did not notice it. I swear to God, I did not notice it. I actually walked to the VIP dinner and never noticed that this was outside of our building. Now, part of that is because I was on Google Maps and I was like, where the fuck am I supposed to be? But yeah, when I walked back, I noticed the tower and I was stood next to it. I was like, well, I didn't see a tower when I came out of here. So I think I'm in the wrong place. And then I noticed that the hotel is legitimately, like, there's the hotel door. If you turn around 180, there's the tower. Like, I walked right past it and didn't fucking see it. So I thought I was lost. I thought I was super lost. But I had 4 hours, so I hit the gym. I did catch up with Ziz and Rise in the morning. As I walked in, they were all in the lobby to go and have lunch or whatever. I was like, look, I'm going to the gym because if I go and lie on the bed now, because I've been flying for like, I don't know, 30 hours or whatever, I'm just going to pass out. I'm going to miss the VIP dinner. So I just went to the gym, went and had a bath, and then just carried on going to the dinner. Now, I did not abuse OBS privilege because I definitely arrived at, not late, I was on time, but people had got there like a good half an hour early to this VIP dinner. And everybody was already inside. I could see all like the content creators and stuff inside, and there was a huge queue outside. And to be fair to the awesome PoE people, they were like, Preach, what's up, what's up? Oh, you can skip the line, like nobody will care. I'm not doing that, man. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. They're like, yeah, come on, you can skip the line, you can get in. I'm like, I'm not fucking doing that, man. So I went and got in the queue with people. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. No skippers at all. No skippers. But like the people at the back of the queue were like awesome. So I talked to them the whole way in.
No skippers.
I didn't realize that I think the tickets for the VIP dinner were a lot of money to do the VIP dinner. And I didn't really understand what we were supposed to be doing there. I got in and they went, oh, I was an ultra VIP, by the way, which was sick. I have a lanyard that says ultra VIP on it because that's me. Easy. $1,000. Yeah, it was a lot of money to do the VIP dinner. But I didn't know that. I thought it was people who had been invited. I thought it was like select few or whatever. So I walked into the party. I met up with some great people. Like Valina was one of the first people I met who's going to be helping us out in our next PoE league. Spoke to Crip and Ziz and Co. And then, after I got a beer, I saw like Quinn and stuff were outside. So I went to say hi to them. And I ended up talking to Quinn and his mod team for, I don't know, like an hour. Before this, to give context, as I signed in into the Ultra VIP thing, they said, oh, you have a table number. You're on table 20 or whatever. Okay. So I walked over to this table and put my coat on the back of it. And then I went and met people and talked, right? And so I was outside talking. And I want to be clear, nobody came and said that dinner had started. At any point, did anybody come out and say dinner has begun or anything like that? Nobody did that. So I was outside for about an hour talking. And then somebody came out to join us and was like, oh, man, the food here is so fucking good. And I'm like, is it? Are we supposed to be having dinner now? And yeah. And then someone said, like, the tickets for this thing were like $1,000 to meet all the content creators and the devs and stuff. And I was like, oh, fuck. I'm supposed to be out here, like, meeting and greeting people, like, kind of working. Because people have paid a lot of money for this. And I've just stood outside talking to Quinn for an like, on my own. So I was like, oh shit, I better go inside and start like doing the reason that like GGG has brought me out here. So I went in. Turns out I'm sat next to Chris Wilson on the main table and his partner. And and I got a lot of shit as soon as I sat down. I was on Chris's table with his partner. So it was Chris, his partner, and then me on this table. And no other like content creators and stuff were on this table. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I sat down and Chris just goes, oh, it's you. This is the first time I'd met Chris Wilson. This is my first meeting with Chris. And I'm like, yeah? And he went, we were pretty sure that some rando had come in, put his coat on the table, and just fucked off to claim a spot on my table. It's like, no, I got told to sit here, but no one said there was food coming out or anything. So he was like, oh, I get it. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I sat down there, and it was one of those places, you guys might have been to one of them, where they come around with like meat on a fucking, like a spear, and they just like shave some meat off for you. And they just keep going round and round with different meats, and they shave a little bit off. Now, I obviously arrived late. Plot twist, this actually turned out in my favor, because the guy recognized I'd missed a lot of the food. And the favorite dish of at least Chris's partner and some other people on the table is lamb. So he brought the lamb around. He went, oh, you've not been here for a while. Gave me all the lamb that was left. Literally pulled the bone off the thing. And I just got a giant lamb leg all to myself. Get fucked. Get absolutely wrecked. Get turbo wrecked. Because people were so pissed. I was like, nom, nom. This is all mine. Nom, 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 nom. Nomming my way through it. Oh, yeah. Oh, full Viking mode. Like, looking at me like, fucker, we wanted some of that lamb. I was like, it's my lamb now, baby. I want all this New Zealand lamb right up in my face. Nom, 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 nom. So fucking good. Anyway, party turned out great. Stayed and met a ton of people. Got harassed by crawlers. Actual crawlers were there and rat jamming me. Like full rat jam. I could give you a little hint on that. This is a bit of a teaser for later in the tale, but I got completely rat jammed. As this is kind of what I turned up to. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. They brought a lot of masks. A lot of masks. They brought a tremendous amount of masks that I walked into.
I'm sad to see my Australian brothers didn't get the job done. Oh well, there's always next time.
Yeah.
Peasant.
They made a good try. Let's put it that way. Let's fast forward till next morning though, right? So I left the party about 11 p.m. But while I was there, I got met by my handler, my wrangler as he was called, Al, who was an absolute legend. He came to introduce himself. And as far as I knew, I had to be at the arena for 9 a.m. for the opening ceremony. But Al busts in and says, okay, just make sure you're here at the arena for 8 a.m. Which was... like, really soon, considering it was FanFest that night. And I had to stream, well, I wanted to stream, at 4 a.m. So I had to leave the party at 11 p.m. I still haven't been to sleep in what was now coming up to, like, I don't know, nearly 40 hours. I still haven't been to sleep, and FanFest was in 5 hours, and I was still at the party, and I'd had a couple of beers, so I was so tired and now full of beer that I was absolutely ready to get hammered out of my face and sleep forever. So I turboed out of the party, walked back to the hotel, found the Spire, and thankfully we had internet. We had a quality stream for the FanFest launch. Worked out super well. I did set my alarm for 3 a.m., got back up, did that. And then at 8 a.m., I had to go to the arena. Turns out that was not true, and Al had mistaken me for somebody else. So I met up with Rise, Nugian, Ziggy, and Mathil, and... they were all very confused as to why I was there. And I was like, I don't know why I'm here. Because I genuinely didn't. So the guy just said, be here at 8 a.m. He's like, so you're doing the opening ceremony? I went, I don't think so. And he's like, oh, okay. I'm like, okay. So they're like, I just said, look, the guy said be here at 8 a.m. He's like, right, well, we're doing like the opening of the show. And I'm like, cool. Are you doing that? I went, no, I don't think so. No one's told me that. Maybe. I have no idea. So we rocked to the arena where Rise set his GPS to a car and not walking. It turns out we were 2 minutes from this hotel. We were 2 minutes from the arena. Rise took us on a wonderful tour of Auckland. Following all the one-way systems to get there. But he did... I didn't
What
know
did
where
you
we were
get me for
going,
a
so
present?
I obviously was like, well, I can't really blame you because I have no idea where we are. But you also did choose to be navigator. So, like, it is your choice. So we followed the phone, and it took us on a full tour. I would say after 10 minutes of walking, we saw the front of the hotel again, where we'd set off. We went on a big circle around the block, and then brought us back to the front of the hotel. And we were like, there's the hotel, dude. We just walked in a big circle. It's like, it's down here somewhere. So we got to the arena. And as it turned out, yeah, I was not supposed to be there at all. So we were down in the backstage makeup area because you had to go and do your hair and makeup. Shout outs to the makeup team, by the way. They were the people who worked on Lord of the Rings. They're currently doing a movie with Jason Momoa. Like, the two ladies who were doing the makeup were crisp. They were absolutely crisp. They were old school ladies who have been doing makeup for TV and movies for fucking ever. And they were awesome. They were absolutely awesome. They had stories for days. I could have spent the entire weekend just talking to those two ladies. But anyway, I got abandoned. So I was there at 8 a.m. I was like, don't worry about it. It's fine. You give me a closed arena to mess around in. Which I did. I went and got to do all this stuff before anybody came into the arena, which was sweet. And the place was awesome. This table is fantastic. I would love to have this table. It was so fucking good. It was so good messing around. But at the same time, I didn't have any PoE merch on me. I was wearing a World of Warcraft shirt. So I asked, thankfully, Chris's partner came up, and she was mooching around. And I said, can I get a t-shirt? I wanted to buy one. I was not being like Mr. Entitlement. I was like, can I buy a t-shirt? Come with me. Took me into the merch area and let me backstage and just said, grab whatever you want. It was awesome. So I was just opening the shirts in there. Just opening the shirts and grabbing the shirts. I was a good boy. I was a good boy. I didn't go crazy. I didn't go crazy. I just got shirts for the event that I could wear. It was nice. It was pretty good. But yes, I got the whole venue. I only got shouted at like 3 times, which was pretty dope, actually. I only got shouted at 3 times because you weren't supposed to be in certain areas. But yeah, it was dope. It was fucking dope. Yeah, security was really nice because I was like walking around. I filmed a bunch of stuff on my camera, but there was areas you weren't allowed to film, which Quinn found out, right? Because you weren't allowed to film the players playing the games. Which meant that because they had so many gaming areas where you could sit and play the games, like these, that you couldn't really film anything. You had to just film a wall. So you had to be like, you had to be really careful about where you could go and film and do stuff. So off you had to do that. Then we had the opening ceremony. It was awesome. It was super fucking cool. That was awesome. And then I was a little worried because I had my meet and greet that day, as well as the stream play. Right, so context, PoE dudes, and I'm sure TyTy's viewers have already had this explained to them, but when we got there, very quickly, we started getting the message. This is before even the arena opened, that the game was really hard. Now, they couldn't tell us anything because we hadn't seen PoE 2 yet until the opening ceremony, but a lot of the devs were floating around, and they're also massive fans of MMOs and stuff, and they all wanted to talk to me, which was incredible. I spoke to so many of PoE's devs this weekend, and they were like, it's really hard, just letting you know. And part of the reason for this is that apparently, like at the last ExileCon, they let people like play as they would ordinarily play with appropriately geared characters, and they just kind of smashed the demo to pieces. And so the queue, in some cases, was like maybe a couple of hours to play the game, and then some people were like shredding through it like they were farming maps and were done in like 20 minutes, which was like no good. And it didn't showcase the game. It was just people like farming it like they would do ordinarily. So... yeah, like some people smashed the demo out. So what they decided to do was not only up the difficulty, but also slow the game down to showcase the new classes and the new mechanics and things like that. And so that's what we were playing. 'Cause immediately after day one, we saw that Reddit was on fire. Everybody thinking it was like new hardcore ruthless mode or something. It's not. It's going to play. They did say it's going to play the same as PoE 1 in speed-wise. But the demo we got to play was pretty fucking tough, like really, really hard in some areas, especially if you weren't like a giga season player, which I'm not. Like I've been playing for a year and we do season stuff and we're not in it like fully invested in it, so it was fucking tough. So I had that to do and I had the meet and greet to do. So the meet and greet I was really worried about because I am not a big fish in the Path of Exile pond by any means, especially when my meet and greet was paired up with Kriparian. So I was like, we were sat around like having some snacks. I was talking to Krip and stuff, and I was like, if I end up sat here swiddling my fucking thumbs and you have a queue down the walkway, and then there's some guy who's gonna like take a picture of loser Preach, like nobody came to see him. Ha 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 ha. We're all cute to see Crip. Then fuck that. I'm out of here. Like I genuinely had a bit of nerves about this because I wasn't sure what I was going into as not one of the big PoE personalities. Thankfully, that was not the case at all because it turned out the Venn diagram of people who are into MMOs have watched me and PoE is basically a circle. So it was fucking absolutely sorted. A massive shout out to everybody who came to say hi at the meet and greet. I got lots and lots of hugs. What I didn't know though is that the meet and greet's on a very strict timer. Essentially, everybody was going to like either me then Crip or Crip then me. They were just moving between both the queues all the way down there. It was really good. But I didn't know this, but they'd actually started stopping people getting in the queue. And that's because there was 2 other people coming for their meet and greet on the hour. We were like on the hour, right? We had 1 hour for the meet and greet, and then somebody else was doing a meet and greet. So they'd stopped people queuing up, and I didn't know that. So I started getting messages and stuff saying, hey, I went to your meet and greet, but like they'd stopped us queuing up, blah, blah, blah. Or they went to Crypt first and couldn't get into mine, so on and so forth. Which is, I mean, I would happily have stood and finished everybody off. That sounds sexual. I would have moved to the side and made sure everybody got seen. For the remainder, that's what I usually do at meet and greets, is if there's still leftovers and another one's starting, I'll go off to the side and finish it off there, no matter how long it takes. So I knew the next day my plan was to just be available to make sure we got to see everybody. And even then, after the event finished, I got messages saying, like, I looked for you everywhere and couldn't find you. I don't know how to make myself even more obvious than I exist. I was trying, I was everywhere. So if anybody, like, didn't get to say hi or whatever, I'm sorry. I did my best to be available, like, all day. I never went back to the hotel or anything. I stuck around all day to make sure we do stuff. But then, it came to the gameplay thing. I want to point out by this time, none of us had touched PoE 2. None of us had touched the game at all, because we were all doing stuff, moving from left to right, talking to people constantly, doing all that kind of stuff. None of us had, like, we had no media room or anything to go and play it, so none of us had touched the game. And while I was in makeup, before we went on the main stream, Al, rightfully so, goes, so, any idea what you're going to play? And I was like, Al, I've not touched the demo. I don't know how. I don't even know how it works. And the way it worked is you had a choice of 4 classes, and each one had a different act to play. So there was like Monk was Act 1, I think Huntress was Act 2, Sorceress was Act 3, and Warrior was Act 4, something like that. So it's like, I don't know. I don't even know how the demo works. I literally have no fucking clue how it works. It's like, okay, so you got to get the 4 classes and different things. Now, the thing is, by this point, rumor had definitely spread about how difficult the demo was. And people were having to, like, re-queue several times to get to both of the bosses and stuff. And you had 45 minutes to play. If you went to, like, one of these areas, you had 45 minutes. So I was given half an hour. So Al says, can you do Act 4 on the Warrior? Because nobody's done that yet. Everybody's doing Act 1 or 2. Some people have done Act 3, but nobody's done Act 4 because they've all found out it's really hard. So the like word was spreading throughout the day, because I think my streaming thing was at like 2 p.m. and it had been open since 9. So word had spread throughout the place that like Act 1 was supposedly like reasonably accurate because you started at the very start of the game with the monk. And Act 2 and 3 were like difficult but skirted up. Yes, and then Act 4 was like some people were trying it, but you needed multiple goes of multiple 45-minute sessions. Some people who were masters managed to do it first time or whatever. But then they said Mathil did do Act 4 first thing in the morning, and nobody's touched it since. Now, I didn't get to see Mathil's stream or what the feedback was. He just said, yeah, it was pretty tough. But after he'd done that, nobody had touched it at all. None of the streamers had touched Act 4 whatsoever. So Al was asking, reasonably so, can you go and do Act 4? Because we haven't shown any of that off. I thought that was pretty reasonable, me. So I said, sure, yeah, no problem. And he goes, right, well, Mathil went to the prison, so if you could not go to the prison and just go somewhere else, that would be awesome. And then he said, but it's completely your choice. So I'm presented with two options. Can I either do this very, very specific thing, but it's still like, it's still your choice. You could do whatever you want, but you know, you could do this very, very specific thing, or you can go do whatever the hell you want. I was like, well, I guess, okay. I guess, okay. Now, it gets worse from there. So I go over to the streaming area. I meet the director who's running the stream. They had have I got a picture of it?
Back yet, unfortunately.
Let me just check. I think I have an awesome picture of the streaming area. It's well, I might have filmed it, which case I'll show you later. Hold on. Let me see if I've got it. Like, the streaming area was so good. They had a full crew. They really gave it a lot of... The production team was absolutely on point. Rachel, the director, was super nice. It's not the best picture, but I mean, it'll do. Yeah, it's not amazing, but it is something to give you some context. Context always good. Send that. All right, so this is the streaming area. So they had a full crew. They had a big. You can see the boom wheel over here of the other cameras and shit that were going on. And the streaming area I was going to be playing from was here. So no, I had no chat or anything. You just had your screen and your gameplay and stuff. So anyway, I'm stood here. I'm stood here where this guy is, waiting to go on because this interview is finishing. And then one of the boss designers for PoE 2, who I'd spoken to a couple of times that day, Zach, rocks up and he goes, "Oh, you on in a minute?" I'm like, yeah. He goes, "Oh, what are you playing?" And I said, "Oh, I'm going to be doing Act 4. And he goes, "You're fucked." What do you mean? He went, you're absolutely fucked. You're so fucked. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, you're fucked. I was like, that's not very inspiring. He's like, I'm just telling you, you're completely fucked. I was like, okay. He's like, how long have you got to play? I said, half an hour. And he goes, yeah, you're fucked. You're absolutely fucked. He's like, did you play it already? Which I should have done. I should have gone and found some time to go play the game in the morning, so I didn't have to spend time reading the spells or whatever. But he's like, yeah, you're fucked. You're totally fucked. I was like, oh, okay. Thanks for the words of confidence. And he was like laughing his ass off. He thought it was funny. Hey, up. I'm being intruded onto you. I'm telling a story. What's up? Have you got a CD? The fuck? I haven't got nothing that would play a CD. What in there? Oh, are they images? Yeah, the Xbox or the PlayStation in the living room should read that. Xbox can read CDs, right? Guys, I've never tried. I assume an Xbox can read CDs. Yeah, it's the new Xbox. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you should be able to put them in the Xbox. Apparently, close the door though, because I'm swearing. All right. Okay. So yeah, I get told I'm totally screwed. Then I go on and then I find out the show's running late. Rachel comes and explains to me the show's running late, and it's absolutely imperative that we cut to the main stage in 25 minutes because the one thing we can't delay is the panels, because the panels are starting and obviously the stream viewers want to see the Q&As that are going on with all these people. So my time got cut to 25 minutes, and then I needed to do an intro-outro hosting bit to go there. So I actually had 20 minutes to play. Either way, it did not go well. And if you didn't watch it, I ran into a rare mob that had like uber life regen that I could not possibly have killed in any way, shape, or form. Like every bit of damage I did healed up before I could press another button, essentially. I got absolutely fucking just rolled by this thing. What makes it even better, though, is after my Act 4 gameplay was done, Zach come over, he went, and he was laughing his ass. I was like, yeah, I made that rare. I didn't realize it would be there for you, though. You kind of got fucked. It's like, yeah, I made that. It's like, he said something along the lines of either I'm trying to take them out, but there's just too many, so it is what it is, or like he tried to fix it, but he's like, yeah, whatever, like you got fucked. I told you we were going to get fucked. Like, it's the way it was going to be. You got screwed. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so I got completely fucked. Yeah, that was me. He was like, oh, I can't believe you bumped into that rare. Unlucky. That's the way it is. So yeah, that was great. But that was the end of the day. And then the next day I got to play the game, and Huntress and Sorceress were by far my favorite. They were so fucking good. If you didn't see Huntress and Sorceress, they were so good. I killed all the bosses. That was super awesome. But a little bit of a shame that I ended up playing the Warrior, and I was not great at it either. I did not know that white enemies no longer gave mana charges, so I was like out of mana and shit trying to show off the spells and stuff. And I had a limited time. If I'd had a bit longer, because I know Crip got an hour the next day, the lucky git, and got some more time to mess around and do stuff, which is pretty good. Sorceress was my favorite because it played like an arcane mage. Interestingly enough, is the one Zizaran liked the least. But it played exactly like an arcane mage. Like the setup and combos you could do with Sorceress was really cool. Like learning the boss patterns to find the gaps when you could drop down the Tempest Storm, put up Unleash for the triple comet, have a Frost Bomb down to lower its frost vulnerability, and then drop the Mega Comet on it. Boom. Oh, it was so tasty. It was absolutely like an arcane mage. It's so fun. Huntress was much more like consistent in its gameplay, but I liked all the movement. Yeah, it was like Rune of Power Unleash combination. It was so good. And then you could fill with Arc and manage your stuff. Yeah, it was dope. It was really, really good. But then, on the next day, the game, like the event came to an end. I managed to pick up, like I said, some merch. I bought this. Really good. My little Exalted Orb Stress Orb from the place. Got to see as many people as possible. And then there was another party. So there's 3 parties total, which was the official after party. I didn't take any pictures of it because people were partying and stuff. Granny Gear gave everybody a free drink, which was cool. But I rocked up, and everybody was outside. It was very much like PreachCon. Nobody was inside. Everybody was outside. I never stepped foot in the building, even though the arena was open. I just stayed outside all night, talking to people and doing pictures and things like that. That was really fun. And then it got to the next day where I had to have my flight to Sydney delayed because there was another party, the Ultra VIP party. I wish I knew what I was getting into here because I was non-stop blown away, although the surprise was amazing. A shuttle bus was picking us up outside the hotel, right? So I got told to be there at like 4 o'clock. Which was it. And I rock up, and that's where I met Tai Tai. Tai Tai got in the bus, started talking to him. Really nice, met all these people. And then, I think there's, I think Ziz may have put a picture up of this. I took no pictures of this. Maybe Ziz or Crip put a picture up. But anyway, we were driving for like 40 minutes or something in this bus. I was like, this is a long way to go for a restaurant. And then the taxi guy didn't get lost, but he wasn't sure where to go next. He was like, I'm not sure where we go. And then some people remembered and ended up going down this like pathway into a forest. I'm starting to feel a little concerned at this point that this is what's happening. The Ultra VIP party was at Jonathan, one of the heads of PoE's house. To say this was easily like the most amazing thing I've done at one of these events is like, can't even be expressed. It was at his house and he was cooking. Because he like does chef stuff. Like I asked around, he's like, yeah, he's like cooks. No, he was doing the cooking for everybody. This is one picture of his house. I don't know if I've got any more. We were just in his living room. He had a fire pit outside. So, like outside, we were all just sat around. Like the only person who was talking about like PoE at this party was Quinn, who was harassing Mark to get melee buffs. And we were like, dude, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing, bro? Like, he was like, I'm just saying, like, we need some melee buffs, you know? We need some melee buffs. And then he started boring it. Always talking about keto and weight loss and stuff with Mark. Oh, it was fucking genius. It was absolutely genius. But yeah, like, okay, so we're all sat outside at the fire pit. I wish I'd taken pictures, but for me, it felt like not the place to take pictures until, like, the end of the night kind of thing, because we were in the guy's house, and he was, like, chefing and cooking for us and stuff. But the fire pit, like, sat around this fire pit outside, it was me, Quinn, Crip, Crip's partner, Chris Wilson's partner, Quinn's partner, Athel, and a couple of other dudes. We're sat around this fire pit where we kept having to put, like, wood on the fire to keep it burning. I mean, we're out there till it went really dark, having drinks and chit-chatting and shit like that. Somebody brought up camping. Don't know if you guys know, but Crip is very into camping and knows an awful lot about bears. Crip then went full teacher mode on educating all of us about bears, like endlessly, about brown bears, black bears, polar bears, what you do, how you handle the situation, what you should be doing, how you go about it, where you should do your research, and all this kind of stuff. But for some reason, and I was so confused, I was like, why? Eventually, I think it's because I asked questions. It ended up being entirely focused at me. I was like, Crip, dude, why are you telling me so much about bears? I don't get it. I didn't ask about the bears. Why is this all about? He's like, look, he's like, but you're not listening, because there's 10% of the population, the US population, truly believes they could fight a gorilla. And pound for pound, a gorilla will go there. But if it's like a brown bear, you need to punch it. It's like fully invested in it. It was so bizarre. It was so good and fun. Yeah, did you learn about their anatomy? I didn't, because for somehow it advanced from bear facts over to Hearthstone Battlegrounds, which apparently I need to try out because the Battleground system is really good, is what he was telling me. But yeah, we had this whole part here. But unfortunately, once again, I had to leave early because I had to be on a flight to Sydney. I didn't leave early, that's the wrong thing to say, but they had shuttles come to the house and pick people up on like 1 hour intervals from about 10:30. But I had to be on a plane at 3 a.m. To Sydney. So I got on the first shuttle with Quid and stuff and went back to the hotel to set off once again to Sydney, which was to be the fun part of the journey, the less work-related part, because I was going to meet you guys. Oh, yeah! It was off to see Team Australia. Thanks, I think it was Crooker who got me the hat. So I could be full-on Team Australia. Absolutely awesome. Yeah, and it was good. The Preacher Man Down Under, arriving on the planes. Kara rocks up. We got some good pictures here of Australia. Oh, yeah. This was some paparazzi-style shit, because this is just after I got off the plane. And I didn't even know Woden was taking these pictures, so I'm talking mad shit in the train, obviously. It's a lion. Yeah, so it was like fucking talking shit, getting pictures taken of us. But we had a great time. This was awesome. And then this is how they met me. I got full rat jammed. Absolutely rat jammed. They were all chilling by the opera house, wearing rat masks so they could rat jab me in person. But then we got a ferry. Like, Sydney was beautiful. We got a ferry. Archangel, Method Dream was there. 20 more images. Then we went to the zoo to see some koala bears. I saw the koala bears. We had a fight for the cutest animal. This thing, Lion thought this was a statue. Or Dernsby did. Thought this was actually a statue. This is really alive and really close. And all the Australians did was explain to me how every single one of these creatures could rip your throat out at any second, so don't go near them. Under any circumstances. So I had a stare down with the emu. Until it moved. Yeah, until it moved. I had a stare down with the emu. Yes, it's real, not a statue. Concerned. How good was this? That's a real tiger. So inside the compound, they put an empty van, and the tiger crawled up, and look how close this tiger is to us being in this van. Isn't that awesome? It's right there. Massive tiger was staring us right down in the teeth. Yeah, Crooker did try and open the door, which is... yeah, I did the thing. I had to. And then we went to the seal show to watch the seals doing their bit. And then, of course, in tribute to you guys... Oh, it disappeared. Where did it go? I will say, this was a little unfortunate. This turtle was absolutely rat jamming just before we filmed this. We were like, we need a picture of this very happy turtle. And he kind of turned around and had to wander off. But well, tortoise, turtle, whatever. And then we went off to... Oh, this was sick. This was a gamer bar called The Fortress. Yeah, The Fortress gamer bar. Where one of the weirdest things happened to me on this whole trip. So, the Fortress bar was on the 3rd floor of this mall. And as I was going past, like, on the escalator, a dude stopped, nearly shit his pants, couldn't catch his breath, and was like, "Preach?" And I was like, oh yeah. And I assumed 100% that he was coming to the upstairs, because we put out a tweet saying, if you're local or if you're in Sydney or whatever, come up and say hi. Not at all. This guy is just a student in the area and could not process that we were in the middle of Sydney and we'd met in this abandoned mall because it was a really dead mall. He's like, you could see the brain like fritzing out. He's like, what the, why, what's happening? And I tried to give context. He's like, I don't get it. Like, I've been watching you for like 10 years and now you're here in the mall in Australia. Like, totally trying to grasp what's going on. And all his friends were like, what the fuck is happening? So weird. Yeah, it was amazing. It was so good. It was like an unexpected meet to see everybody. I nearly crushed Kara. Look how small Kara is. Kara, my arm is wider than your head. Yeah, totally. My arm is literally wider than your head. I didn't hurt Kara. I did not hurt Kara at all. Met Kara's daughter. Beautiful. Very nice. Had lots of kisses with various people while we were out and about.
2 years already.
And then we did an escape room.
Vibe.
Then we went and did an 8-man escape room, which was awesome. This was super fun. We did an 8-man escape room on there, which was dope. And then time to go home. Time to go home. Bye, Sydney. Yeah, escape rooms are super fun to get people together and get people talking and stuff. Like, not that it was needed with that crew of people by any means. And then the same day I got on the plane to come home, which is where it is. And that was it. Still never done one. Yeah, like we booked one that day.
Me, Bex. While you were gone, things became clear to me. I am sorry. I respect your skill and intelligence. I only troll you so chat will think I'm cool. I'm weak and I'm sorry. P.S. You're right, ducks suck.
Ducks do suck. What at Mario Kart at least? Yes, we did. Did it like Auckland? I'll be honest with you, I saw 3 streets in Auckland. I saw literally 3 streets in Auckland. I will say this. I spoke to Chris Wilson this morning. He DM'd me and we had a little quick back and forth. What an awesome, awesome event ExileCon is. It's so, so different to every other convention I've been to.
Hey, it's me, actual non-triple G Bex, Ducks Rock, get wrecked.
I did get to meet Bex, who's leaving GGG now, sadly. Oh, gutted. But, yeah, I saw Bex is leaving. She didn't bring that up while we were there. I spoke to her, I got a chance to talk to her a couple of times, but, yes, she is leaving, unfortunately. But, yeah, what an awesome event it is. I would recommend it to anybody.
Hey, Mike,
it's just small enough.
Bex. That was fake Bex. Ducks are awesome. Chaos Gang unite hypers.
No Chaos Gang, no. Yeah, this is what I said to Chris this morning, as I was up so early. But I said, your event is fantastic. This is word for word what I said to him. I was excited before, but it blew me away. It was such a joy to see you and your staff able to enjoy the event as much as the attendees. This is crucial because it's only 2,000 people. I didn't think it was that small, which, like, big game terms of convention, that's small. But it allowed all the developers to just be out and about on the floor, talking to people, mixing with people, like even Chris Wilson and all the other devs. In fact, they had a card game that was going, where you had to kind of play PoE in real life and farm bosses and stuff, and you got a Mirror of Calandra if you beat them. And they made Chris and stuff, like the Ubers, like to try and beat that got you the mirror. So they were out and about playing. I didn't play it. No, I didn't know anything about this card game before I went. Apparently they did it at the last ExileCon, and now it's advanced, and now Ziz is like coming up with all these plans to make it even better. But like I said to them, typically when conventions try and run these type of games, like 2% of people take part in it. Like, it's really, really small. When they try and do some sort of, not icebreaker type thing, but activity for people at a convention, really like a stupidly low amount of people ever take part in those kinds of things. Not true at PoE. Absolutely not true at PoE. Everybody was in on this card game, and then there became mafias and overarching teams that had... I got shown so many spreadsheets. They were like legitimately planting stooges in the lines to farm the lower end bosses so that groups of them could move around en masse and skip and avoid queues. There was a team of 10, multiple teams of 5, who were all in cahoots in order to get the fucking game done. It was unbelievable how full PoE min-max these guys went on this tournament in order to get the cards done properly. Like, it was ridiculous. They were so invested in it, and I'd never seen anything like it. And it was one of the big talking points of the whole event is how did you do with the card game and the trading and stuff like that. And some of the devs were... And I felt kind of bad because some of the people who make PoE had been assigned to be the people who got farmed all weekend because they were like the starter mobs. So they spent their entire ExileCon getting farmed by players so they could get loot. Like, they were absolutely getting farmed non-stop to get loot. I was like, that's really mean, but they had a good time doing it. 6-man motherfucker, better ExileCon the actual game. Yeah, dude. Like, they took it so serious. I have the cards. Here, I got a goodie bag. It has the cards in it. I give away my hideout, by the way.
Mike,
Crusher called me straight away.
If you had come to NarFanFest instead, I would have given you chat bubbles.
I'm getting to FanFest after this. I am absolutely doing that. But yes, I got to talk to so many of the people behind the scenes, including like the music maker, the animators, the environment detail creators in PoE. It was just dope. Like, they were all just out and about having fun. They brought their children who were enjoying the event as well as the attendees. It was super awesome. And like say, I was really worried when I went there that I was kind of like a third wheel because I'm not one of the big PoE dudes. Like, I love the game. We did do that blind playthrough and I play it every season, but I'm not one of the big go-to PoE guys. But that was not the case at all. Like, it was awesome. Met some really hardcore Guild Wars 2 players. There was a team from Brazil who are apparently the World v World conquerors. That was sick. And then how many people turned up who didn't have ExileCon tickets just to come and say hi, which was really, really nice. Not everything went perfectly. There'll be some... but it all worked out so well. Would I go again? In a heartbeat. Yeah, absolutely in a heartbeat. It's so fun. It's really, really casual and laid back. Like, if they go any bigger than this... I know that, like, Chris and Mark and Thung had a bodyguard, just in case, because they, of course, get death threats and stuff from people who got nerfed them. You know, those fucking engaged gamers, or whatever you want to call them. But nobody else did, and it wasn't necessary either, from what I could see. Like, once it goes bigger, like, if you think about BlizzCon, which is, what, like 20,000 attendees or something ridiculous, I can't remember how many it is, but they need, like, escorts to walk around. Like, they can't walk around the arena. Like, it's not possible. Whereas, very regularly, I would, like, be talking to somebody, and next to me was, like, Chris Wilson just talking to the attendees, just chilling. The same with all the other top dogs there. And the people who were working it were also just chilling and had time to themselves. Like, it was really cool. So casual, laid back. Talked to the guy who made, like, balloons. I'd been talking to him for like 20 minutes before, like, someone said, you know, this is the guy who made balloons. I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, oh, yeah. I did that as well. You know, met some really old school people, like the guy who made Diablo. David was so nice. The guy who, like, literally created the genre and was really laid back about it. Like, I was like, wait, you created Diablo? It's like, yeah. Yeah, I didn't think, I just, you know, it all came together. It was pretty nice, and it was cool. Like, meeting those dudes, just sat next to them on the bus and talking with them was awesome. Like, the whole event was fantastic. To have all these guys. So, it's very accessible. And I think FanFest was a bit like that. Like, I saw Yoshi P sneak into, like, the crowd and stuff like that. All those guys. Yeah, Dave Brevik was there. He was at dinner with us. But just, like, chilling and just enjoying the environment and stuff like that. And also, like, not much talk on Diablo 4. Other than occasionally people go, D4 bad? D4 bad? D4 bad? Like, none of the devs did that, but the attendees were all like, did you see, like, D4 bad? You've got to say D4 bad before we get anywhere. D4 bad? D4 bad? Streams on Twitch. Yeah, he was super chill. Like, I was talking to him about other stuff before I realized who he was. Like, I was a bit ignorant on that until I was like, I'm sorry, like, clearly you are somebody. Who are you? And he's like, oh, you know, I created Diablo. I'm like, oh, fuck. Fair enough. D4 bad? D4 bad? Yeah, it was really, really good. It was good. Blizzard who are bad. Yeah, whatever. Like, I didn't want to get into that conversation. I was like, dudes, I have the game. I've not even installed it. I've not even fucking touched it. I've not got anywhere near it. I have no comment on this discussion, like, whatsoever. It was not a thing. But yes, that was sick.